Now that the ladder frame for the storage shelf has been mounted and I have the threaded rods giving me support in the front, I'm going to go ahead and install the plywood toppers. In order to install that, I'm going to use some number 6 drywall screws. These are 1¼ inch long. I built the actual structure using, I want to say 3-inch long deck screws. You don't need that for just installing the plywood. So I'm just going to go ahead and use these cheaper screws for that purpose. I've cut some grooves in the plywood to accommodate for the 2 vertical pipes that run along the wall. And I'm going to go ahead and do some pilot holes beforehand just to keep that from splintering. One of the really cool things about using this eyelet and threaded rod system on the front of the shelves is that you can use this in order to adjust the level of the shelf. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. I'm literally just going to adjust the lower nut until the shelf is sitting dead level, and then I'll lock the two together and you'll see how that looks. Alright, so I'm going to raise the shelf. Thread the nut. So you see that? Now the shelf can sit level. Looks pretty level on the camera, which has a better view of it than I currently do, so I'm going to go off of that. Looks pretty good. Alright, with that the shelf is secured on one side, now to go level the other side. So I've got my level set on the far end of this shelf. I'm going to go ahead and lift on this a little bit. Let me bring this a little closer so I can keep an eye on it. Huh. Looks like I could actually stand to lower it some. Looks like that's pretty level, so I'm gonna go ahead and lock this in place. And that's that. Shelves are level. Now it's time to load them up. One of the shelves is now officially mounted. I'm gonna do the lower shelf later on after I change out my water heater. But right now I'm gonna take off the bicycle hooks that are up there, and then I'm going to pay the consequences of not having gone to the gym all these years, because I'm going to attempt to put those very heavy boxes up there. Here goes nothing. I'll come back later with some plaster and fill in all these holes. You should never leave this stuff just all cut up like that. That and it just looks ugly. One hook. Two hooks. What do you know? It's not that weak. Don't do what I just did if you're not real flexible. You can easily fall backwards. wanted a place to put this tire roller forever. My fender roller up there. Then I can put my car wash stuff. I will definitely be adding a center rod to hold this stuff in place and give it a little bit more structure, but honestly right now it feels rock solid, so I'm not worried about it. Alright, so there you have it. There's my massive garage shelf. It's almost 14 feet across. It's 13 feet 6 inches. I'm going to add another one below it of the same exact length, and yeah, it's going to be a massive storage here, which will keep junk off my floors and help me to regain the two-car aspect of my two-car garage. The next thing that I'm going to do for this is actually to add another rod in the center, and then after that I'm going to come back and add the other shelf below, which I've already mocked up the board for and drilled the holes in the walls. So I expect that that'll be a fairly quick and easy process, and not as painful as this original one was, but this has been a learning experience. I now have a lot more experience in how to do this, so I expect that it will be a lot more straightforward. It's also going to help that the rods are already going to be hung, so it's really only going to be a matter of basically mounting to the wall and then placing the eyelet bolts in the correct position. Pretty straightforward. It does have to come up a bit high. Make sure you're well between those rods so they're not in your way.
I think it needs to go more your way, baby.
Yeah, it does.
And then this is the way.
Go this way. And
Right there, it's on the things.
yeah, hold up.
Oh.
Okay. There should be a line guiding you as to where you're supposed to be.
Is the line on the top of this? On the bottom.
On the top. It should be on top.
Okay, I'm pushing up to my line.
Okay. Cool. I got one. Keep holding your side. Now normally you'd want to install both shelves simultaneously so that you can put in the threaded rod in one go from top to bottom. I'm not going to do that because I've mounted this afterward, and I don't want to go through the trouble of taking down one rod at a time and threading the nuts all the way up and down. So what I did was I just bored the hole for the eyelet bolt a little bit larger than what I had prior, and I'm going to go ahead and just slide it in by moving the rod slightly out of the way. Let me show you how that goes. Alright. Still have to tap it in a bit, but there it is. Put the washer and nut on the back as well, and then we can tighten this guy up. That. Need to straighten this out ever so slightly. Good. I'll just thread the nut all the way up here, and this will now be supported. With both shelves mounted and loaded up, the only thing left for me to do here is to go ahead and cut off the unused ends of the threaded rods. I'll be taking an angle grinder and cutting them off about an inch below the last nut on the bottom. I'll use a spare nut in order to clean the threads on the ends of these where I cut them. And then I'm going to put a rubber end cap here to protect this edge from being sharp and dangerous. So here's the rubber end cap. It's going to be a little difficult because this is very dirty thread right here. There you go, nice and safe. Alright, so with that done, both my shelves are mounted, and all I really need to do is start organizing my rather messy garage so that I can finally have a second car in here. That's going to be awesome. I may actually have to build a shed to get rid of the rest of this stuff though, but that's okay. You guys will get to see a video of me building a shed. There you go. If you'd like to see more content like this, feel free to like and subscribe. I've got a whole bunch of more projects coming. If you have any ideas or any opinions, feel free to leave that in the comments. And thank you for watching.